Hello and welcome back. So far we've dealt with limits by substitution. We haven't done any more complicated limits. And you might be wondering, or you might be asking, well, why do we have, limits? What's the point of limits? Why can't we just, in the substitution ones, you could just substitute the number in. So why use a limit in the first place? And so far we had limits like, let's say we had the limit as x tends to 3 of x squared. And the reason, and in this one you could just plug in 3 and the answer would be 3 squared, which is 9. And the reason for that is that so far the ones we've dealt with are problems like, let's say if we graph x squared, it looks something like this. And at x and at the when x is 3, which is, let's say x equals 3 right here, the value is 9 over here. This is 9, because 3 squared is 9. But sometimes you get an equation, or you have a graph of an equation. Hold on, let me change colors. You have a graph which will be, you'll have some values, and then you might not have a value here, then you might have values. Let's say, for example, you had a temperature gauge or a thermometer that was picking up average temperatures over the course of the week, and maybe you didn't get a value at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, and then you didn't get something at 8 o'clock on Saturday, and then you got some more values, and then you didn't get something else over there. The reason we have limits is the limit isn't actually asking what the point is right there. The limit's asking for, as you head towards the point from both directions, should probably use a different color. As you head towards this point from both directions, what is the value that you're actually getting towards? That's what you're asking for. And that's the main reason we have limits, is that you're not actually trying to find out. Indeed, in the substitution problems, it was, when you did tend towards this, the value was the exact same as the actual value of the function at the point. But that's not always going to be true. Either you may have holes in the equation, or you may have some funky functions that have, a point like up here. You have those piecewise functions, which are slightly different. So the main reason we have a limit is so that when we're looking for the value as you approach a certain point, not the value at the certain point. And that's basically the whole reason we have limits. So keep watching, and we'll do some problems that actually look like this, and have holes over there. And then to solve those kind of problems, you can use algebraic manipulations. You can use there are many different tools that you can use, and that's actually the hardest part of calculus, is to figure out how to approach a problem rather than following the steps of a problem. So keep watching, and we'll get to problems like these.